a very good exercise for you in this horse because it makes you ride forwards. Just make sure your reins are short and your hands are up in front of you. And as you ride through the turn, you ride through the turn on a rhythm with outside leg, and you make the 2 strides and 2 strides. As you started to go through the exercise for longer and longer, the shape started to disappear. Just make sure that there's a line from each pole and you don't go off the line. You use your legs to hand to steer and you keep coming through the turn. Not that you bulge out and end up jumping the pole at the far end on pole 3. When moving on to the grid, it was a shame to see the horse stop at the start, and it's a shame we haven't videoed it so you can see what you did wrong. But as you watch you going through the grid here, the horse is keeping a consistent canter, a consistent shape, and it looks very good, so well done. When linking the jumps together, again your confidence looked high. The only thing I would comment on is you must make sure you ride through the corners with enough leg. If you think you've got enough leg on, then put more leg on, because what this horse does is when he spooks, he absorbs the leg, and you must make sure you've accounted for that and you're sitting up tall with your legs on hard. It's nice to see this horse enjoying itself. It was enjoying itself last week and it's enjoying itself this week. Now it's got to start to improve with its ride. Your reins have got to become a lot shorter and you've got to be able to put a little bit more shape into the horse. This should be 2 strides and 2 strides, and if you notice, the only way you can get 2 strides is if you trot to the first one. Also, when you're going through the poles, make sure that you stay on the correct line, not that you're ending up bulging out after the second pole. This is a very good exercise for her because it makes her calm down in the canter and makes you put some shape through the turns. As the exercise progressed, you did eventually get the 2 strides, 2 strides, but it was very quick. To get the 2 strides, 2 strides relaxed, lots of half halt and lots of outside leg to steer. The jumping side of it is very good. The horse is leaving the floor, enjoying itself and landing and cantering on to the next one. What you must make sure is though the reins aren't too long and you use lots of half halts to control the canter pace. Once you get into the middle of the grid, the horse starts to quicken, so your job as a rider is to half halt down the rein so you keep the shape, but you just quietly adjust the pace so when you get to the last oxer you're not going too quick. When linking the jumps together, again you had the bad stride to the stile because round the corner the shape had disappeared and the horse had got very strung out. Again, from you as a rider's point of view, you must be sat on your bum, half halts round the corner so the horse comes onto its hocks. But overall this horse is enjoying it, jumping well, so very good. This exercise is an exercise that you can practice with this horse and also your other horse, because what it does, it makes you stay on a consistent canter through the turn, and this is the problem that you have with both your horses when you come to the fences. The horses have to keep cantering through and take a positive stride when they take the pole, As you notice, as this horse does it, it actually does it very well. All you've got to do now is keep the consistency level going, so it stays 2 strides, 2 strides, not that sometimes it's 2 strides then 3 strides, or 3 strides then 2 strides. It must stay 2 strides, 2 strides all the time, so the consistency is what you want, not that the further you go on, the further the canter deteriorates. To achieve this, lots more leg, lots more half halt, keep putting the shape to the canter as you come round the corners. When linking the jumps together, it highlights the problem when you're going over the 4 poles, how hard it is to get around the corners with a young horse. Again, something that can be practiced, but you must make sure your canter is established far enough away that the horse is balanced and on the right leg. Sometimes he comes around the corner disunited, sometimes he comes around the corner on the wrong leg completely. When we started linking the jumps together, this highlights the problem again with the canter. He starts to stall on the approach, looks into the base of the jump, you're leaning forwards with your toes to the floor. Ideally, you want to be sat up tall, weight down into your lower leg, so you're keeping your leg on and press into the fence. So when the horse is in front of the fence, it is confident and takes up on that stride. Not that it doubts itself, pops a little stride in, and then you end up getting a horrible jump. Overall, both your horses improved, but this is something that has to happen with both your horses. The canter has to become more consistent and more forwards in front of the fence. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you for turning up, considering the problems you had with your other horse. With this little pony, you must make sure you keep your hands soft and try and keep the canter coming as regular as possible. In all fairness, it does this exercise quite well, but from your point of view, keep your heels down, keep your hands very still and following the contact. Very similar to what you need to do with your chestnut horse. This will stop the horse from snatching its head. Like I said on our lesson on Thursday, if you follow the contact, keep your leg on, it will stay on the contact. When going over the poles, again, this horse gives you a good example of following the contact and down the grid, because the horse's head does not move and the canter stride stays level, so very well done. Use this as an example and put this into practice with your chestnut horse. When linking the jumps together, make sure you pull the horse's head up and keep committing through the corner, but overall, very well done. First thing I'd like to say, Jess, is well done. I know this hasn't been easy for you the last couple of weeks and you are getting a bit of a hard time of it, but trust me, you will get out the other side and you'll start to enjoy it again. I know life hasn't been easy and the other pony definitely has not made life easy. Moving on to this pony, when doing the circle exercise, try and keep the head as level as you can and keep your hands as soft as you can. If you notice, this pony is very reactive to the bit, so your hands must stay soft. Just because you're keeping your hands soft though, this doesn't mean you then have your reins very long. Your reins must be short and in front of you, your heels down, and you ride on a rhythm. Use your leg through the turn to help. As you go over the poles to the grid, make sure you commit, don't pull out, because there was no reason to pull out. If you notice, when you start committing through the corner, the jump is very good and the canter stride to the fence is very good. So this side of it is very good and well done. Moving on to the jumps, the pony was very naughty when it did that stop. I shouldn't have thrown you off like that, but you did recover very well and you kept hold of his head, and the jump at the end was very, very good. I feel this is a pony that you could progress on, and I think you should put some time and effort into it. But overall, keep working at it, because you are a nice tidy rider. You just haven't had an easy time of it at the minute, but this will improve, I promise.